I went to my son's company dinner, one of those formal events with speeches and awards. He'd invited me, said it would mean a lot if I came. I wore my good dress, sat at his table. That's when I saw her, his assistant. 24 years old. She brought him a drink. Their hands touched, just for a second. But I saw it, the way he looked at her. I've been married 47 years. I know what that look means. My daughter-in-law was home with their children. He'd told her he had to work late. I didn't say anything that night. Drove home, called my attorney the next morning. 40 years I'd been building an estate for my grandchildren's future. Not for this. If you're watching this, subscribe and tell me where you're watching from. I always love knowing. My name is Dolores. I'm 71 years old, and I'm about to tell you how one dinner party destroyed the future I'd spent 40 years building. Raymond is my son, 43 years old, successful corporate attorney, partner at one of the largest firms in the city. He makes good money, very good money, over $800,000 a year. But it's nothing compared to what I have. My late husband George built a real estate empire, started with one apartment building in 1978. By the time he died 3 years ago, we owned commercial properties across 4 states, shopping centers, office buildings, warehouse complexes. When George died, everything came to me. $6 million in liquid assets, another $8 million in property, plus the house, a historic estate worth $3.5 million. Total estate value, approximately $17.5 million. I plan to leave it all to Raymond. Well, to his children specifically. Set up trusts that would pay for their education, their futures, give them opportunities George and I never had. Raymond knew this. We'd discussed it many times. The estate plan, the trusts. How his children, my 3 grandchildren, would be taken care of for generations. He was counting on it, had made financial decisions based on it. Then I went to that dinner. Raymond had been excited about the dinner for weeks. His firm was hosting their annual gala, black tie, 5-star hotel, awards ceremony for top performers. I'm getting the Partner of the Year award. He'd told me 3 weeks before. They want me to give a speech. I'd really love it if you came, Mom. Of course I'll come. I'm proud of you. It'll be a whole thing. Dinner, dancing, speeches. Margaret won't be able to make it. She's got something with the kids. But I want you there. You and Dad built the foundation I'm standing on. I want you to see what I've accomplished. Margaret is Raymond's wife. They've been married 15 years. She's a good woman, a stay-at-home mother to their 3 children, Emma, 12, Jack, 10, and Sophie, 7. I liked Margaret, respected her. She'd given up her career as a nurse to raise the children while Raymond built his career. She deserved better than what was about to happen. The night of the gala, I arrived at the Ahi Hotel at 6:30. The ballroom was stunning. Crystal chandeliers, white tablecloths, floral centerpieces that probably cost more than most people's monthly rent. I found Raymond's table. He was already there, looking sharp in his tuxedo, talking to colleagues, laughing, in his element. "Mom!" He stood when he saw me, hugged me. "You made it. You look beautiful." "Thank you, sweetheart. You look very handsome. Come sit, meet everyone." He introduced me to his table. Partners from the firm, their spouses, everyone polite, professional. The kind of people who made small talk sound important. Then she walked up. "Raymond, I have those notes you wanted to review before your speech." I looked up. She was young, very young, mid-20s at most, beautiful in that effortless way young women are. Dark hair pulled back, simple black dress, professional but the kind of professional that doesn't hide attractiveness. "Thanks, Simone. Just set them here." Raymond gestured to the empty chair next to him. Simone, his assistant. I'd heard him mention her before. Simone organized the files. Simone scheduled the deposition. Simone is really efficient. Always work-related, always professional. But the way he looked at her when she approached the table wasn't professional. She set down a folder. Their hands brushed, just for a second, barely noticeable. But I noticed the way his fingers lingered, the way her breath caught, the way they both pulled back too quickly like they'd been burned. I noticed the way he watched her walk away, how his eyes followed her across the ballroom. I noticed because I've been married 47 years. I know what desire looks like, what guilt looks like, what a man looks like when he's somewhere he shouldn't be. My stomach turned. Throughout dinner, I watched. Raymond was attentive to me, asked about my week, talked about the kids. Normal son behavior. But every few minutes, his eyes would drift, searching the room, finding her. She was at a table across the ballroom with other junior staff. But she looked over at him, too. Quick glances, checking. This wasn't new. This was practiced, familiar. During the speeches, Raymond went to the podium, gave a brilliant speech about dedication and hard work and the importance of mentorship. Everyone applauded. I watched Simone in the back of the room. She was glowing, proud. Not the way an assistant is proud of her boss, the way a woman is proud of her man. After the speech, during the cocktail hour, I excused myself to the restroom. I saw them in the hallway. They didn't see me. They were around a corner in a small alcove near the service entrance. He had her pressed against the wall, not violently, intimately, his hand on her waist, her hand on his chest. They were kissing, not a quick kiss, not a drunken mistake, a real kiss, the kind that comes from familiarity, from wanting. I stepped back, quietly. They never knew I saw. I went to the restroom, looked at myself in the mirror, tried to process what I'd just witnessed. My son, my Raymond, who had a wife at home, 3 children, a life, was having an affair with his 24-year-old assistant. I wanted to march back out there, confront him, make a scene. But I didn't. That wasn't my way. Instead, I went back to the table, smiled, made small talk, stayed until the end of the evening. Raymond walked me to my car. "Thanks for coming, Mom. It meant a lot." "It was a lovely event. You should be very proud." "I am. This partnership, this career, it's everything I've worked for." Everything he'd worked for, built on lies and betrayal. "Does Margaret know you won?" I asked carefully. "Yeah, I called her earlier. She's proud too. Wishes she could have been here." "You told her it was a work obligation, that you had to attend." "It was a work obligation." Was Simone a work obligation too? His face changed, paled. "What?" "Your assistant, Simone. Pretty girl, very attentive." "She's just my assistant, Mom." "Is she?" Not a question, a statement. He didn't answer, couldn't answer. "Drive safe," I said, got in my car, drove away, left him standing there in the parking garage. Knowing I knew, I didn't sleep that night. I kept seeing it. The kiss, the way he looked at her, the lie he'd told Margaret about having to work late. My son was a cheater, a liar, just like countless men before him. I'd raised him better than this. George and I had modeled a solid marriage, 47 years of loyalty and commitment, and Raymond had thrown it away for a 24-year-old assistant. At 6 a.m., I called my attorney, Marcus. He'd handled George's estate, managed my affairs for 20 years. Dolores, good morning. What can I do for you? I need to change my will. Today, if possible. Today? That's unusual. Is everything all right? No, everything is not all right. Can you meet this morning? I can clear my schedule. 9 o'clock? I'll be there. Marcus's office was downtown, old building, wood paneling, the kind of place that smelled like leather and old money. I arrived at 8:55, was shown to his office immediately. Dolores, you sounded upset on the phone. What's going on? I need to remove Raymond from my will completely. Marcus set down his coffee. That's a significant change. May I ask why? He's having an affair with his assistant. I saw them together last night. I see. And you're certain? I saw them kissing in a hallway at his company gala while his wife was home with their children. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry. So am I. But I won't reward infidelity. I won't leave millions of dollars to someone who has so little respect for his family. What would you like to do with the estate instead? The grandchildren, Emma, Jack, and Sophie. I want everything to go into trusts for them. Raymond gets nothing. Margaret gets nothing. Just the kids. Margaret might not stay married to him if this affair comes out. Have you considered that? I have. If they divorce, Margaret should get half of everything Raymond has earned during the marriage. That's the law. But my estate is separate, mine to distribute as I see fit, and I choose to leave it to the children. Understood. I'll draft new documents. It'll take a few days. Make it fast, and Marcus, this is confidential. Raymond doesn't need to know until I'm dead. Of course, attorney-client privilege. I left his office feeling something I hadn't felt in years. Power. Raymond had thought my money was his insurance policy, his children's birthright. He'd been counting on it, planning around it, and now it was gone. Raymond called that evening. Mom, about last night, what you saw. I don't want to discuss it. But you implied. I didn't imply anything. I stated a fact. You have an assistant named Simone. She's very attentive. That's all I said. You made it sound like something was going on. Is there? Silence. Mom. Raymond, I'm 71 years old. I've been married for 47 years. I know what I saw. Whether you admit it to me is irrelevant. What matters is whether you admit it to yourself and to Margaret. There's nothing to admit to Margaret. Then we have nothing to discuss. Goodbye, Raymond. I hung up. He didn't call back. 2 weeks later, Marcus called. Documents are ready. Can you come sign? I went to his office, reviewed every page. The new will was clear. Upon my death, my entire estate, $17.5 million, would be divided equally among Emma, Jack, and Sophie. Trusts managed by an independent trustee until each child turned 30. Raymond's name appeared nowhere in the document. I signed, Marcus notarized. It was done. Raymond will contest this if he finds out, Marcus warned. He'll claim undue influence, diminished capacity, something. Let him try. I'm of sound mind. I'm making this choice freely, and I'm doing it because he betrayed his family. You might want to document why you made this change, in case questions arise later. Like a letter? Exactly. Explaining your reasoning, your mental state, why you chose to disinherit him. I'll write one. That evening I sat at my desk and wrote. The letter was 3 pages, detailed, explaining what I'd seen at the gala, the affair, Raymond's lies to Margaret, my disappointment, my decision to leave everything to the grandchildren because Raymond had shown himself unworthy of the legacy George and I built. I sealed it in an envelope, gave it to Marcus to keep with the will. If Raymond contests, this should establish your state of mind, Marcus said. Good, because I meant every word. Life continued. Raymond didn't know about the will change, thought everything was still as we'd planned. I saw him occasionally, family dinners, the grandkids' events, always civil, never mentioning what I'd seen. But I was watching, waiting. 3 months after the gala, I was having lunch with Margaret. We did this monthly, just the two of us, a chance to connect without Raymond or the kids. "How are things?" I asked over salad. "Good, busy. Jackson's soccer now, Sophie's doing piano. Emma's in her moody preteen phase." "And Raymond? How's work?" "Intense. He's working late a lot. Big case coming up, but he loves it. The challenge." "Working late. I bet he was. Does he talk about his assistant, Simone?" Margaret's fork paused. "Why do you ask?" "I met her at the gala. She seemed very dedicated." "He mentions her sometimes. She's efficient, apparently, keeps him organized." "I'm sure she does." Margaret looked at me. "Is there something you want to say, Dolores?" I wanted to tell her, wanted to show her what I'd seen, save her from the humiliation of being the last to know, but it wasn't my place, not yet. "Just making conversation," I said. Margaret didn't look convinced, but she let it go. 4 months after the gala, I got a call from my friend Patricia. "Dolores, I need to tell you something. It's about Raymond." Patricia's daughter worked at Raymond's firm, in HR. "What about him?" "Emily says there's talk about Raymond and his assistant, that they're having an affair. It's become an office thing. People know." My stomach dropped, not because I didn't know, but because it was spreading, becoming public. "How bad is it?" "Bad enough that HR is aware. They're considering whether it violates company policy, whether there's a power dynamic issue since he's a partner and she's his assistant. Will they fire him? Probably not, but they might force him to transfer her or disclose the relationship, make it official. And if he doesn't, then it becomes a liability for him and the firm." That evening, I called Raymond. "We need to talk." "About what?" "About the fact that your affair is now office gossip, about how your career is in jeopardy, about how Margaret is going to find out if she hasn't already." Silence. "Mom, don't lie to me. I know it's happening. The whole firm knows. It's only a matter of time before Margaret knows." "It's complicated." "It's not complicated. You're cheating on your wife with your assistant. That's about as uncomplicated as it gets." "You don't understand." "I understand perfectly. You're having a midlife crisis. You're flattered that a young woman pays attention to you. You're risking your marriage, your children's stability, and your career for what? For someone who'll be gone in 5 years when the next young associate comes along? It's not like that." "Then what's it like?" "Explain it to me. Make it make sense." He couldn't, because there was no explanation that justified what he was doing. "Does Margaret know?" I asked. "No." "You need to tell her, before someone else does." "I can't." "You can't or you won't." "Both. If I tell her, she'll leave. Take the kids. I'll lose everything." "You've already lost everything, you just don't know it yet." I hung up, sat in my quiet house, the house George and I had built, filled with memories of a marriage that had lasted 47 years because we'd chosen each other, every day, even when it was hard. Raymond hadn't learned that lesson, and now he'd pay for it. 2 weeks later, Margaret called me, crying. "Dolores, can I come over? I need to talk to you." "Of course. Come now." She arrived 20 minutes later, eyes red, mascara smudged, shaking. He's having an affair. I led her to the couch, held her while she sobbed. "I found texts on his phone. He left it on the counter while he showered. I wasn't snooping. It just lit up with a message. From her, Simone, saying she missed him, with a heart emoji. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I went through the messages, months of them. They've been together since last summer, almost a year of lying to me, while I'm home with the kids, while I'm making his dinner and doing his laundry and believing him when he says he's working late. What did he say when you confronted him? He admitted it, said it just happened, that he didn't mean for it to happen, that he still loves me. Do you believe him? I don't know what to believe. He's begging me not to leave, saying he'll end it, that we can work through this. What do you want to do? I don't know. Part of me wants to kick him out, file for divorce, make him pay for what he's done. But we have 3 kids, and I haven't worked in 15 years. I gave up my career for him. I have nothing without him. You have more than you think. In a divorce, you'd get half of everything. The house, his retirement, spousal support. You'd be okay financially. But the kids, I don't want to put them through a divorce. Better a divorce than growing up in a house where their father cheats and their mother stays out of fear. She cried harder. I held her. This woman who'd given up everything for my son, who'd trusted him, who'd built a life with him, and he'd thrown it away for a 24-year-old assistant. Margaret moved out 2 days later, took the kids, went to her sister's house across town. Raymond called me, furious. Did you tell her to leave? Did you convince her to take the kids? I didn't have to convince her of anything. You did this, your choices, your consequences. She's turning the kids against me, making me the villain. You are the villain, Raymond. You cheated on your wife, lied to your family, jeopardized everything for an affair. I made a mistake. Mistakes are accidents. Affairs are choices. You chose this. Every time you texted her, every time you met her, every time you lied to Margaret, those were choices. So what, you're on her side now? I'm on the side of integrity, which you apparently abandoned. I'm still your son. Yes, and you've disappointed me more than I thought possible. I hung up. 2 days later, I got a call from Marcus. Dolores, Raymond came to my office, asking about your estate plan, wanted to know if anything had changed. What did you tell him? That I couldn't discuss your private affairs without your permission. He didn't like that. Said as your son, he had a right to know. He has no such right. That's what I told him. He left angry. Dolores, I think he suspects something. Let him suspect. He'll find out when I'm dead and not a moment before. Margaret filed for divorce 3 weeks after moving out. Raymond contested it. Tried to claim she was unstable, that she'd abandoned him, that she was using the kids as leverage, but texts don't lie. And Margaret's attorney had copies of all of them. The divorce was brutal. Fought over every asset, every piece of furniture, every photograph. But in the end, the law was clear. Margaret got half. The house. Half his retirement. Spousal support, child support. Raymond kept his job, barely. The firm had reprimanded him, moved Simone to a different department, made it clear that any further impropriety would result in termination. The affair ended. Simone transferred to another firm 6 months later. Raymond was alone, in an apartment, seeing his kids every other weekend, paying tens of thousands in support. Everything he'd risked his marriage for was gone. And the $17.5 million he thought was his safety net, also gone. He just didn't know it yet. A year passed. The divorce was finalized. Raymond was bitter, angry, blamed everyone but himself. He'd call occasionally, short, tense conversations about the kids, about money, always about money. "The child support is killing me," he'd complain, plus spousal support, plus my rent. I can barely make ends meet. "You make $800,000 a year, and half of it goes to Margaret, then taxes, then living expenses. It's not as much as you think. You did this to yourself. I made one mistake. A year-long affair isn't one mistake. It's hundreds of mistakes, every day, every lie, every choice to betray your family." He'd go quiet, then hang up. I stopped feeling sorry for him. 18 months after the divorce, Raymond came to visit, unannounced. I was in my garden when his car pulled up. He got out, looked older, tired. The affair and divorce had aged him. "Mom, can we talk?" "About what?" "About us, about our relationship, about moving forward. Come inside." We sat in my living room, the same room where George and I had hosted 47 years of family gatherings, where Raymond had played as a child, where life had been normal. "I've been in therapy," Raymond said. "Good, you need it." "The therapist says I need to make amends, repair relationships, start with you." "Your therapist is right, but amends aren't just words, they're actions over time." "I know, and I want to do that. I want to rebuild our relationship. I want you to trust me again." "Why now? Why after all this time?" "Because I've lost everything. My marriage, my daily access to my kids, my reputation. The only thing I have left is family, is you, and my money." He flinched. "That's not... Raymond, let's be honest. You're here because you're scared. Scared that I've cut you out of my will. That the money you've been counting on is gone. That's not why I'm here. Isn't it? Because you've barely spoken to me in a year. But suddenly you're in therapy and making amends and rebuilding relationships. What changed?" He looked away. Couldn't meet my eyes. "I talked to a financial advisor about my future, about retirement, about the kids' college funds. He asked about my expected inheritance. I told him about your estate. He said I needed to make sure nothing had changed, that I couldn't count on anything that wasn't guaranteed." There it was, the truth. "So you came to verify that you're still in my will." "I came to rebuild our relationship. But yes, I also wanted to make sure we're okay, that you haven't made any changes." "What if I have?" His face went pale. "Have you? Would it matter? Would you still be here trying to rebuild our relationship if there was no money involved? That's not fair. Life isn't fair, Raymond. You taught me that when you threw away your family for an affair. I've apologized for that." "To whom? To Margaret? She's not speaking to you. To the kids. They're hurt and confused. To me? You've never actually apologized to me. Never acknowledged what seeing that affair did to me. What it did to you. Yes. Do you have any idea how it felt to watch my son, the boy I raised to have integrity, betray his wife? To see you kissing another woman while your family was at home? To know you were lying to everyone? It broke my heart, Raymond." His voice cracked. "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry." "For what? Specifically? What are you sorry for?" "For the affair. For lying. For disappointing you. For getting caught. That's what you're sorry for. If you hadn't been caught, you'd still be with Simone, still lying to Margaret, still pretending to be someone you're not. That's not true. Then when were you planning to end it? Before I saw you? Before Margaret found the texts? Or were you just going to keep going until someone forced you to stop? He didn't answer, because the answer was obvious. I need to know, he said quietly. Am I still in your will? Why does it matter? Because it's my inheritance, Dad's legacy. It should go to me. Should it? Why? Because you're the only child? Because you're entitled to it? Because that's how inheritance works. Inheritance is a gift, not a right, and I can give my gift to whoever I choose. So you have changed it. I stood up. I think you should leave. Mom, leave Raymond. Before I say something we'll both regret. He left, angry, scared. Good. Let him be scared. 2 weeks later, Raymond showed up again, this time with the kids, Emma, Jack, and Sophie. I hadn't seen them in months. They'd grown so much. Grandma! Sophie ran to me, hugged me. Emma and Jack were more reserved, older, aware that things between their father and me weren't good. What a wonderful surprise, I said, hugging each of them. Raymond stood back. I thought the kids should see you. It's been too long. Yes, it has. We spent the afternoon together. I made cookies with Sophie, played cards with Jack, talked with Emma about school, friends, boys, normal grandmother things I should have been doing all along if Raymond hadn't destroyed his family. Raymond watched, quiet, calculating. After the kids went outside to play in the yard, he approached me in the kitchen. They miss you. I miss them too. You could see them more, if things were better between us. Are you holding my grandchildren hostage, threatening to keep them away unless I do what you want? No. I'm just saying that family relationships require effort from both sides. I've put in effort for 43 years. Where's yours? I'm here, aren't I? With the kids, trying to bridge this gap. You're here because you want something. You want reassurance that your inheritance is secure. That's not effort. That's manipulation. I want to fix our relationship. Then fix it. Not by bringing the kids as leverage, not by making veiled threats, by actually being sorry, by showing me through actions, not words, that you've changed. How? Tell me what to do and I'll do it. Start by being honest with yourself, with me, with your kids about why your marriage ended. The kids don't need to know the details. They know their father had an affair. They know you betrayed their mother. What they don't know is whether you take responsibility for it or whether you blame everyone else. I take responsibility. Do you? Because every conversation we have, you make excuses. You say it just happened, that you made a mistake. That's not taking responsibility. That's minimizing. What do you want me to say? Nothing. I want you to live differently, to be different, to earn back trust through consistent, honest behavior, not through performative apologies and bringing my grandchildren as bargaining chips. After they left, I felt exhausted. Raymond was trying, but his trying was hollow, transactional. He didn't want a relationship with me. He wanted access to my money. That night, I called Marcus. Has Raymond contacted you again? Yes, 3 times, asking about your estate plan. I've refused to discuss it, but Dolores, he's persistent. I think he's considering legal action. To do what? Force me to keep him in my will? To have you declared incompetent, to claim you're being unduly influenced, to challenge your mental capacity. My blood ran cold. He wouldn't. He might. If he believes the inheritance is gone, if he's desperate enough. I'm 71 years old, Marcus, not senile. I manage my properties, my finances. I'm of completely sound mind. I know that. But if Raymond gets a doctor to suggest cognitive decline, if he can show that your behavior has changed dramatically, like cutting him out of your will, he might have a case. Then we need to be prepared. Document everything. My mental state, my reasoning. Make it impossible for him to challenge. Already working on it. But Dolores, you might want to consider telling him. End the suspense. Let him know definitively that he's out so he stops grasping. No, let him wonder. Let him panic. He spent a year barely speaking to me. Now suddenly he's interested because his financial advisor told him to be. I won't reward that. 3 months later, I got a certified letter from an attorney, not Marcus. Raymond was petitioning the court to have me evaluated for cognitive decline. The letter cited my erratic behavior, my withdrawal from family, my unusual financial decisions. He was trying to have me declared incompetent. My hands shook as I read it, not from fear, from rage. My own son was trying to take away my autonomy, my rights, my ability to control my own estate, because he wanted money. I called Marcus immediately. I got a letter. I know. Raymond's attorney copied me. This is serious, Dolores. We need to respond aggressively. What do I need to do? Get evaluated by multiple doctors, neurologists, psychiatrists, cognitive specialists. We need documented proof that you're of sound mind. When? As soon as possible. I'll set up appointments. Over the next 2 weeks, I was poked, prodded, and tested by 4 different doctors. Memory tests, cognitive assessments, psychological evaluations, brain scans, all came back the same. Completely normal for a 71-year-old woman. No signs of dementia, no cognitive decline. Sound mind, full capacity. Marcus compiled the reports, submitted them to the court, requested dismissal of Raymond's petition. But Raymond's attorney pushed forward, requested a hearing, wanted the judge to evaluate me in person. This is harassment, Marcus said. Pure and simple. Raymond's trying to intimidate you into changing your will. He's not going to succeed. I know, but you're going to have to testify. Explain your decisions. Answer questions about your relationship with Raymond. Good. I welcome the opportunity to tell a judge exactly what my son did, why he's no longer in my will. The hearing was scheduled for 6 weeks out. In the meantime, Raymond kept trying. He'd show up at my house, bring the kids, try to present himself as the concerned son taking care of his aging mother. Mom, you seem forgetful lately. Have you been taking your medications? I don't have any medications. I'm healthy. Still, maybe you should see a doctor, get checked out. I've seen 4 doctors, all say I'm fine. Maybe you should see one more, just to be sure. Raymond, I know what you're doing, trying to build a case that I'm incompetent. It won't work. I'm worried about you. No, you're worried about your inheritance. There's a difference. The hearing was held in family court. Small room, judge's chambers rather than a courtroom. Present. Me, Marcus, Raymond, Raymond's attorney, and Judge Patricia Holbrook. Judge Holbrook reviewed the medical reports. All 4 of them. Detailed. Comprehensive. Unambiguous. Mr. Donovan, she said to Raymond's attorney, I've reviewed the medical evidence. All 4 evaluations indicate Mrs. Miller is of sound mind. What is the basis for your petition? Your Honor, Mrs. Miller has exhibited erratic behavior. She's withdrawn from her son, made unusual financial decisions. These could be signs of early cognitive decline that medical tests don't yet show. What unusual financial decisions. She's implied that she's changed her estate plan, cut her son out of her will. This is a dramatic departure from her previous intentions. Is changing one's will evidence of incompetence? When done impulsively, without sound reasoning, yes. Judge Holbrook looked at me. Mrs. Miller, did you change your will? Yes, Your Honor. When? Approximately 18 months ago. Why? I took a breath. This was the moment to say it all publicly. Because my son had an affair with his 24-year-old assistant. I witnessed it at his company gala. He lied to his wife, destroyed his family, showed a complete lack of integrity and moral character. I spent 40 years building an estate with my late husband. We intended it to benefit our grandchildren, not to reward infidelity. So I changed my will to leave everything directly to my 3 grandchildren in trust. Raymond gets nothing. The room went silent. Raymond's face was red, furious, humiliated. Judge Holbrook looked at him. Mr. Miller, is this true? Did you have an affair? Raymond's attorney interjected. Your Honor, Mr. Miller's personal life isn't relevant. It is if Mrs. Miller's decision was based on it. Mr. Miller. Raymond couldn't look at me. Yes, I had an affair. But that was between me and my wife. It has nothing to do with my mother's competency. It has everything to do with my decision-making, I said. I made a rational choice based on my son's behavior. I don't want my estate going to someone who betrayed his family. Judge Holbrook looked at Marcus. Do you have documentation of Mrs. Miller's reasoning? Yes, Your Honor. A letter written the day she changed her will, explaining her mental state and reasoning. Marcus handed her the letter. She read it. 3 pages of my handwritten explanation. When she finished, she looked at Raymond. Mr. Miller, your mother is clearly of sound mind. She made a decision you don't like. That doesn't make her incompetent. Petition denied. Your Honor, denied. This hearing is over. And Mr. Miller, if you file frivolous petitions like this again, I'll sanction you. Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor. We stood. Judge Holbrook left. Marcus packed up his files. Raymond approached me. Mom, don't. Just don't. You humiliated me. In front of a judge. You told her about the affair. You humiliated yourself by having the affair, by trying to have me declared incompetent, by caring more about money than about your family. I'm your son. I deserve that inheritance. You deserve nothing. You threw away your family, your integrity, your honor, and now you're throwing away whatever relationship we had left. Congratulations, Raymond, you've lost everything. I walked out. Marcus followed. Raymond stayed in the room with his attorney. I didn't look back. I didn't hear from Raymond for 6 months after the hearing. No calls, no visits, nothing. Fine by me. Margaret kept me updated on the kids. She and I had gotten closer after the divorce. She'd visit with Emma, Jack, and Sophie, let them spend weekends with me. How's Raymond? I'd ask occasionally. Angry, bitter, blames you for everything, says you turned against him. He turned against himself. I know, but he'll never see it that way. 2 years after I changed the will, I had a health scare. Minor heart attack, spent 3 days in the hospital, recovered fully. But it was a reminder. I was 73, not immortal. Raymond showed up at the hospital. I was surprised to see him. Mom, I heard you were here. Are you okay? I'm fine. Small heart attack. Nothing serious. Nothing serious? Mom, that's serious. I'm handling it. He sat down, looked at me, really looked at me. For the first time in years, I saw something other than anger in his eyes. "I've been thinking," he said quietly, "about everything, about the affair, about what I did to Margaret, to you, to the kids, and I'm sorry." "You've said that before." "I know, but this time I mean it differently. I'm not sorry because of the money or because I got caught. I'm sorry because I see now what I destroyed, the trust, the relationships, the family I could have had, and I can't get it back." "No, you can't, but maybe I can build something new, not the same, but something, if you'll let me." I looked at my son, 45 years old now, gray at his temples, lines around his eyes, no longer the young man who'd betrayed his wife, someone older, possibly wiser. "What do you want from me, Raymond?" "Just a chance to be your son again, not your heir, not someone trying to get something from you, just your son. No expectations about the will? No expectations. I know I'm not in it. I accept that. I deserve that. But I'd still like to have a relationship with you, if that's possible." I studied his face, searching for deception, for manipulation, for the transactional energy that had colored our every interaction for 2 years. I didn't see it. I saw regret, genuine regret. "We'll see," I said. "Start by visiting, not just when I'm in the hospital, regular visits. Show me through actions that you mean what you're saying." "I will, I promise." "Don't promise, just do it." Raymond did visit, once a month at first, then twice a month, then weekly. We'd have coffee, talk about the kids, about his work, about life. Slowly, gradually, we rebuilt something. Not what we'd had before. That was gone. But something new, something more honest. He never asked about the will, never mentioned money, just showed up, consistently, over time. 6 months after the hospital visit, during one of our coffee meetings, I said, "I've been thinking about my estate plan." Raymond's face tightened. "Okay. The will stays as is, everything to the kids, but I've been thinking about a small change." "What kind of change?" "Adding a clause that gives you access to the trusts as co-trustee, not to spend the money, but to manage it. Make decisions about the kids' education and futures, if you want that responsibility." His eyes filled with tears. "You'd trust me with that?" "You've shown me over the last 6 months that you're serious about changing, about being present. This isn't about giving you money. It's about giving you a role in your children's futures." "Thank you. I won't let you down. See that you don't." I'm 75 now, 4 years since I changed my will. Raymond and I have a relationship, not perfect, still careful, still rebuilding trust, but real. He's proven himself, consistently, over years, not months, years. Emma is 16 now, Jack is 14, Sophie is 11. Beautiful, smart kids who know their grandmother, who spend weekends with me, who'll inherit an estate that will change their lives. Raymond will manage those trusts, help guide how the money is used, be part of their futures even if he doesn't inherit directly. That's fair. He's earned that much. Margaret remarried last year. Nice man. Accountant, stable. Boring in the best way. The kids like him. I like him. Raymond is dating someone new too, age-appropriate this time. A fellow attorney. No drama, no affairs, just healthy, normal dating. He's learned. Finally. Last week, Raymond asked me a question over coffee. "Mom, do you think you'll ever fully forgive me? For the affair? For everything?" I thought about it. I don't know. Some things leave scars, but I've moved past the anger. That's something. It's more than I deserve. Probably. But families are complicated. We hurt each other, disappoint each other. The question isn't whether we avoid pain, it's whether we're willing to work through it. Are we? Working through it? We're trying. That's all anyone can do. He nodded. I'm grateful for the chance, for you not giving up on me completely. I'm your mother. I never give up completely, but I also won't be taken advantage of. There's a balance. You found it. We found it. Together. My estate plan remains unchanged. $17.5 million to Emma, Jack, and Sophie. Raymond as co-trustee. Nothing directly to him. He's accepted that, made peace with it, moved on. That acceptance is worth more than any inheritance. It shows growth, maturity, understanding that actions have consequences. Raymond destroyed his marriage through betrayal, lost his primary inheritance through entitlement and manipulation. But he's rebuilding his character, slowly, painfully, honestly. That's the real inheritance I'm giving him, not money, a lesson. That integrity matters. That trust, once broken, requires years to rebuild. That families can survive betrayal, but only if the betrayer does the work to earn forgiveness. Raymond's doing that work, finally, and I'm allowing it because I'm his mother, and that's what mothers do. We love, we hold accountable, we forgive when earned, and we make damn sure our grandchildren are protected, even from their own father's mistakes. What would you do if this happened to you? Tell me in the comments. I always read them. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more true life stories like mine.